Yes, thank you. Lisa works in sustainable cities, so she will talk about sustainable cities and circular economy. So please keep your questions and doubts for the discussion period for the two presentations. Lisa, when you want, you can start. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's connected.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I really do need this microphone today because, such as Inez, I'm a little bit sick, so mine, if I cough a little bit, I'll try to avoid it. I'm going to talk about a piece of the puzzle of the action plan for circular economy that Inez Costa has just mentioned. It's specifically focused at the city level and at place-based approaches. So this is the name in English, this is the name in Portuguese. It's quite similar, and this is the acronyms we'll be using. It's a bit of an index. I'll try in a half an hour to explain what this initiative is all about. So I'm going to jump a little bit between topics to try to get a clear vision of what's intended for these national initiatives for circular economy. So I'll start by the strategic framework. The first of the documents is, as already been mentioned, is the Action Plan for Circular Economy. As we have seen, there was this regional clustering, and within that regional clustering was the Network for Circular Cities. That was the name, and so this initiative serves directly the purpose to implement that action on the Action Plan for Circular Economy. Another instrument that is very dear to our heart at Directorate General for Territory has been just recently approved by law, the revision of the National Spatial Planning Policy Program. It is the National Spatial Plan Program for the entire country, and it has embedded within an action plan and several measures to which this particular initiative aims to implement, even if partially. One is to implement the circular economy concept at spatial planning level. Another one is to test and prototype innovative solutions, to foster inter-urban cooperation. I'm sorry, I translated this very quickly, and I'm noticing now there are some Portuguese words in the middle. I'm sorry. So to foster inter-urban cooperation, this to us, to me that work at urban policy. Urban policy at the national level is essentially governance, so this is very dear also to my heart, and to strengthen integrated and place-based approaches. So we have this set of intentions that the National Spatial Planning Policy Program aims at. Also, we have the strategy, the Sustainable Cities 2020, which is the main strategic framework for sustainable urban development in Portugal. And it has, within it, it aims to support the sustainable urban development strategy, so circular economy is a key essential component of this, and we hope to be even furthermore in the future. It hasn't been so. The sustainable urban development strategies hasn't been so at the present moment haven't integrated that much circular economy issues, and we intend to do so in the future, and to promote also, that was one of the intention of this strategy, this networking, which again governance and networking is very important. The regional agendas for circular economy, as you've seen embedded in the action plan for circular economy. What the initiative tries to have, because this is set at the national level, is to foster intensive cooperation with regional authorities. So they have worked with us in designing this initiative, and they will continue to monitor the initiative throughout. And they are, to us, key element, key essential figures in communication and in delivering and in alignment, in strategic alignment between national, regional, and local. In terms of the conceptual framework, what we try to What is our main understanding is that the circular economy is an heterogeneous agenda, so it plays at different scales and with different sectors, and we need to explore it more in an open fashion, and is an agenda of transition, so it really demands change. And I'm acutely aware and afraid of this challenge that we keep on thinking linearly on circular economy. That is, I think, one of the main challenges we all have. And one of the ways we believe to address this challenge is to have place-based approaches. Territory matters. The places, the specificity of places, the relations between peoples, they matter, and the urban scale matters. The urban metabolism matters, all this concept matters, but most of all, these relations that we can have at the local level, that will provide us, I believe, the cultural shift that we really need to make in terms of circular economy. And also one of the concepts, of course, is the sharing and the co-learning between cities to accelerate transitions. Because, and we see that a lot in urban policy, we see one or another city really really going for it, really making innovative solutions and extraordinary approaches, but they are not disseminated to other cities, so they stand as lonely. So the aims of the public policy, this is a public policy, so what we really want to do is, one, to have more knowledge, more skills on circular economies in cities. So we want to intensify knowledge production, sharing, transfer, and to capitalize this knowledge between cities. And to support the cities and their communities in action planning for circular economy in the ways of integrating place-based approaches. But we also want to have not just this at local level, but to have by all of these the principle is, if we give the skills and the knowledge to the cities, or if we invest in their skills and knowledge, then they will be fit to demand of us and to engage in dialogue to better the national policy in issues that in bottlenecks or in opportunities that are really fit for their necessities as the big implementers of the policy. So again, it's multi-level governance. Oh, thank you. We had this, we started off with this idea of the circular city network. That was the action plan for circular economy, that's what it said. But thinking about networks, we really need to think about networking. So the aim is to create several networks on specific themes on circular economy that are relevant at local level, at city level, might be local, might be even urban-rural interfaces. So we have these several scales, not just, when we talk about cities, let us not just think about the build-up areas, okay? And to improve, again, the skills, information, and knowledge. We also wanted very much, and because Portugal is strongly invested in European, or I should say dependent on European funding, to actually link this to other European initiatives and especially to the urban agenda. The urban agenda for the EU. The very idea of these initiatives and the way it is structured, it is very influenced by the urban agenda for the EU in its multi-level and action planning oriented kind of initiative. And we are not afraid of failing because we need to be innovative, to explore and to test. And again, we're just a part of the puzzle of the collective effort of the action plan for circular economy. So this is the numbers. It's funded by the National Environmental Fund by 1.5 million euros for the duration of 3 years. It's managed by Director General for Territory, and the municipalities act as the main beneficiaries of the initiative. So we have two essential instruments. One will be set from the beginning. We hope to launch it hopefully still this year, is the Circular Cities Network. So we'll be having about 4 thematic networks on circular economy with about 8 cities and other partners for 4 plus 12 months to create a local action plan. This is very much inspired by the very good experience that we've been having on URBACT, the URBACT European Program for Cooperations with Cities and with Action Planning Networks. So we'll be using a lot of the methodology that's been used by URBACT. The themes, we have already a version in our minds because we have made a survey among stakeholders to provide us with answers, and we have a picture, but we are not telling you because we are still not told our main partners. Cities will have access to funding by this, and we will have access to experts, both methodology experts and circular economy experts. And they will take part on the capitalization process. The capitalization process is this is the idea at the end of the process. So they've spent like 1.5 years working on action plans, and at the end, they're fully equipped and they understand what the bottlenecks are for the implementations of their policies. And so we move again to multi-level governance with the sectors to try to see what are really the challenges and what we can change in terms of regulation, in terms of funding and knowledge. These are the expected results that we want to have. So about 28 local action plans for circular economy, which represent 10% of the cities, of the Portuguese cities. About 150 stakeholders involved, because I forgot to mention, the networks, the circular and the URBACT method, essentially is based also, it's multi-level governance. Again, this is like a milfolhas. You have to taste it. It's a sweet, a Portuguese sweet with a lot of. So we have these networks of cities. You imagine like 8 cities. And each city will have a local action group. So they will involve the stakeholders at the local level to do their action plan. So piling up all these people, we have a lot of people involved in circular economy, and that's what I see the change can happen, because we'll have a lot of people involved doing and thinking about circular economy at their specific context. I'm going to leave you with this. This is a provisional timetable, so we already did that survey on themes. We want to start before doing the actual call to do a sort of a pre-call, which we call the city square, which cities can informally just say, I want to do this, you know, more informally than just a call, just to raise awareness and to have an actual, which again, we go back to URBACT, it's a key factor of this program is the level of informality that we have, that you need to have a good cooperation. And then we'll have the call for the cities network. It will have 2 phases, a baseline study 4 months, and then the action plan for 12 months. And then we'll try to have the multi-level partnerships and capitalization working coincidentally in some time. In terms of finance, and of that budget, the main topic is, of course, this networking, this giving experts and fundings to the cities, so it's about 70%, and the rest is divided among the others, because they don't cost all that much. I'm sorry, I didn't get the time to actually translate this, I only had it in image, but this is the idea of the initiative. So we have the first momentum is capacity building. It's capacity building. As you see, so we want to have more skills and awareness at the municipal level, more participation and involvement, and more place-based integration of sectorial policies. That's the part where, that's the beginning. And then we have, at the end of it, the capitalization. We want to achieve better knowledge, information, more tools, better funding, programming and applications for calls, and better regulation, multi-level governance and management. And again, communication is at the center, and we wanted to do so a specific component, because otherwise it will be undermined by everyday things. About communication, that's the whole idea. It's more than to have, we have a small website, we are creating a normal website, you know, we're going to feed it and everything, but more than having a website and having flyers and everything, it's all about, again, networking. So how to reach our contacts to other partners and how to feed our own contacts with those partners. So this is the first map that we have of the partnering. Also, just end up with the vision that we have for this at the end, what we want to have. We want to have multiple networks of cities to be created on specific themes of circular economy, and cities will work together and with their local communities to identify the problems and the needs for change and to find solutions. The knowledge produced by these networks will be compiled, and several multi-level partnerships will be created to deal with the bottlenecks and opportunities they have identified. The information and knowledge generated by this initiative will be made available and reach a wider audience of cities and citizens, and Portuguese cities and their communities will know more and will be more aware of the issues and opportunities for circular economy. So this is the site. It just has the basics. We're almost done with having a logo and having a brand new website, so keep checking this address. Right now it's just the program, it's in Portuguese, I'm sorry. And we also have, we had this for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, Fórum das Cidades, the Cities Forum, which is a website, again in Portuguese, that delivers, we have also a newsletter that delivers new news to everyone who's interested. And so that's it. Thank you for your attention. Have any questions? Be free to.
Thank you very much, Elisa, for your great presentation. Exciting news. So now we have time. We have time for discussion, questions, so interaction with the audience, with the two speakers. Please feel free to ask what you want. Santiago.
Hello, thank you, Ines. Thank you, Elisa. Great presentations. That was amazing. So I have one question for each of you. For Ines, can you please elaborate a bit on that change of paradigm from growth to human-centered? What do you mean with human-centered, and like how does that kind of, how does circular economy carries that? And the question for Elisa is, what's your perfect circular city? How do you, what's that vision look like? We
should use the mic, because otherwise, yeah, they can enter.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that question, because it's a thing that is been bugging me a lot lately, is that we are still thinking on a level of circular economy as another layer on top of what already exists, which is, and it's pushing for growth, for endless growth, and that's the issue here. When I say that we need to shift from growth to human center, is that we need to shift the objective of what we are doing circular economy in the first place. Well-being and moving towards that basis, that well-being base that we need to establish should be our first objective in the first place. So it's a very human center about reducing inequality, about establishing a well-being for all in terms of housing, in terms of proper food, proper health care, etc. Those should be the objectives of a shift towards to a linear to a circular economy. I think only when we put well-being in that center, instead of focusing on what the industry should do and getting them more turnover in the next few years, because we are lacking materials and we need, oh my God, we need to reduce our risk exposures. We need to shift that paradigm also in the sense that we need to stop focusing on growth and start focusing on well-being. This is being explored, for example, like by Alexander Lemille. He's been talking a lot about circular economy 2.0. That's what he calls it, which is precisely this, about shifting circular economy concepts and policies in that respect that are oriented toward a more distributive economy, which includes also reducing inequalities in that sense. I think, and this is how can I say this? This is the nuclear thing about interconnected systems and interconnecting policies.